Welcome back. Let's get started working farther on our stocking. So it says the next pieces are 51 and 52, and it's the ladle here. And the first thing we're going to do is it shows us here this dark black line, and that dark black line is a single strand of black, and we're going to do the outline stitch. And so that's going to be done right here in this little tiny spot right there. See if we can get a little closer and not get blurry. Here we go. So this little line here, and then we're going to come around the front. We're also going to come around inside there, and then each one of these lines here will also be an outline stitch. They're so small that I may end up making them just a straight stitch there. And then on these dots we will put silver sequins, and the silver sequins will get clear beads. So I will come back. We're also going to be attaching the back to the front and putting a little stuffing in there. So I think that I will stitch all the way, around like that to about there, from there to there. Then I can get some stuffing in here and a little bit in the handle, not too much, and then seal it up here. And then we will come back to show you it being attached to the stocking. There is the ladle completed, and here is the stocking. It is going to go right up here, and it says to attach it with a few stitches. And when I see it say that, to me that means that I need to look at where these lines are, and that's where I'm going to do my little stitches, so to make sure that those white lines don't show. And then I'm going to come back and put the black sequin that looks so that it looks like the kind of the little knob that it's hanging on. It's going to go right there, right like it's hanging on it. So I'm going to start and stitch it down. I want to make sure. I think I'm going to pin this guy to make sure that he doesn't slide up while I'm working on him, because I don't want him to come up above this white there. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch a few stitches right around like that and down to right there, and then come back and put that black sequin on, and then we'll be ready to start for the next. I think we might go over here to the next utensil. Not sure, haven't read ahead. I try not to read ahead, it confuses me. So I'll be right back when we are ready to start a new section. Okay, there is the ladle, and it looks like our next pieces are the spatula. So we are going to embroider, sequin, stuff, and applique the front of the spatula 53 to the back 54. And I think those are right here. Yep. Okay. So let's see what kind of embroidery are we doing there. Okay, once again, these are going to be a single strand of black outline stitch, and then we've got a broken line. Okay, and then this broken black line says 3 strands of white. I'm going to consult the picture. Yeah, that's exactly what I see there. So these two are going to be 3 strands of white, and they are going to be an outline stitch as well. So a single strand of black right around there, and then 3 strands of white. And then it does show us that the sequins are going to be the diamond, which is silver, and that'll be silver with a clear bead attached to those. And then we will, once we embroider and sequin, we will stuff it and attach them together back to back, and then we'll go on from there with the handle. All right, so I will be right back once I get that complete. Here is the spatula. It is finished, and you can see our assistant has come back, and it's not finished, it needs the handle, but you can see that it's been stuffed, and I kept it pretty lightly stuffed because this is an object that's flat, so I didn't want it to appear really puffy. And now we need to work on the handles, which it says here we did 53 and 54. Sequin and applique the front handle 55 to the back 56. And I just want to know what color I'm looking for. It looks like red. So let's see what we're looking for here in red. Is it on this piece? Yep, they're right here. 55 and 56. Sorry. 55 and 56. It says sequin. I think that's the black sequin that goes on the top when it's attached. But let me check just to be sure. Yep, it's just the black sequin. So we're just going to cut it out and stitch them back to back together. But before we close up the bottom here, we have to make sure that we insert the spatula in there. So that's what we'll do, and we will skip the sequin until we have it all put together and have fastened it to the stocking, and then we will apply that one black sequin like we've done with all the others. So I'll be back when I am ready to insert that in there, and I'll show you how that looks. All right, I have stitched the handle all the way around except for right here where it's open. We're going to make sure that I've got my dot for my black sequin there on the same side, and slide. Oh, it's not going to slide in like I thought. I have to open it up a little bit. See if I can get it in there. Because I want to get it in far enough to be sure that I've got the numbers covered up and the line that indicates how far it needs to go. So I'm going to get myself a straight pin here and see if I can kind of coax it down inside there. No, Finn. No. That's not helpful. Nope. Okay, there you got it down inside. My not so helpful assistant wants to eat it. No. So I'd have to say that I recommend you place the spatula between the two handle pieces very early on in your stitching of the handle together, or potentially right at the very beginning. Just put it in there and keep it in there, and then, whoops, then you won't have to be concerned with the challenge that I have. Of course, hopefully you don't have the additional challenge of the cat, who always makes things a little more interesting. I am knotting this red thread off, but I am going to keep this needle handy because it is what I'm going to use to sew the spatula to the stocking. So knot that back up. No. And here's the top of the stocking. It goes right here. And I think I'm just going to give it a few stitches. I do want to pin it like we did the last one to make sure that it doesn't shift. Right, I apologize that I may have lost a little bit of footage due to a computer issue. But here is where we are so far. We've finished the ladle, and I was able to finish the spatula. It was challenged to get it into the handle. I sewed the 3 sides and it's too wide, so I really recommend that you insert it when you get started sewing the 2 pieces together. Don't wait to the end like I did. It made it hard. And then did the sequin there to attach it. Of course, it was attached to the stocking. But that's just the decoration. So it says that we are ready to embroider, sequin, and applique the center of the hot pad glove, number 58. And that looks like it is red. And it's going to be this dashed dark line, which is the 3 stitches or 3 strands of white in an outline stitch. Okay, and it looks like it gets red sequins. So let's find that piece and look at what we've got going there. Sorry about that. Yep, here it is right here. It's actually a pretty small piece. So we're going to have lots of outline stitch that is going to go all the way over the edge. So we'll be using that technique that we've talked about previously about what to do with the outline stitch when it is going to go all the way to the edge, or for me, I just take it over the edge. So I will come back once I have all these outline stitches done with 3 strands of white and I have the red sequins in place on all those dots there, and then we will pick up from there. All right, you can see that I've cut out the center piece for the oven mitt, and this is 3 strands of white, and we are going to be doing these lines in the outline stitch. So once again, I'm just going to pick one and start. I like this one. I don't know why. And like always, we are going to come in by about 1/4 of an inch or so and go all the way around and come back up. This red felt seems to be very thin, so I'm going to come up kind of close to my first stitch there, coming around and pull down and continue to stitch on the line across, and then the dots in the center are going to be red sequins, and again, red sequins have their own red beads, so red sequins, red beads, and that's after we get all of this outline stitch done with our 3 strands of white thread, or white floss, I guess I should say. And this one is close enough to the end that I'm going to go underneath and up so that, oh shoot, it's always an extra thing when your thread comes unthreaded from your needle. But not a huge big deal. Alright, and then like always I go down just on the other side of that floss, and it kind of helps to hold it in place, because when they're going around like that, sometimes those strands just really don't want to stay put. So I'm going to continue till I get all of the lines done and the red sequins, and then we'll be back for the next step. Okay, there is the embroidery and the sequins on the mitt. I've pinned it to make sure that it covered all the black lines, and then now we're just going to stitch it down. Then I think it gets stuffed and the back gets put on, and then it gets attached to the stocking, and we use that one black sequin. So I'll be back to show you how that ends up looking when we get that all done. Alright, there it is, finished, stuffed, and looks good. Okay, let's see where it needs to be put on the stocking. It's gonna go right there. Oops, helpful if you could see. It's got 59. It's gonna go right there. It's gonna cover that up, and the black sequin is going to go right in the center of that. So I'm going to give it a little pin to the stocking right there. Okay, and I will probably stitch it a little bit right here on this side around the top and down this side and down just a little bit so you can see where these lines are. So I'm going to come down just a little ways into the mitt right there, just to be sure that the guidelines don't show if the stocking moves just a little bit. Not the stocking, the mitt. The mitt. So I need to thread up another embroidery thread with some white. Okay, I will come back to you with the finished pot holder attached. And remember that we are going to attach that one black sequin right in the center here, and that the black sequin always gets its own black bead. So don't forget to use a black bead with that one. And we'll be back to show you the finished. All right, I think we're going to continue. Here we've got all of the utensils hanging up. Oh, I forgot the black sequin again. I better get that done. I'll do that before we start the next, but we'll be working on Santa's arm, and that will be the next place that we're headed. So let me get that black sequin on. We're going to get Santa's arm done, and I think he gets a little gingerbread man up here, and then I think that will finish this video. So I hope you can see that we've got all these great utensils and everything up here. Now Santa just needs another arm. All right, I got that black sequin on there, so we are all good. And the next thing it says is to embroider and sequin the front of sleeve 60. Let's see, what are we going to embroider? It looks like we just need this little line right here, kind of in the crook of Santa's elbow, and that's going to be the one strand of black outline stitch. And then we're going to put red sequins on any of the dots that are there. So let's find that piece and see what we've got going. Put that away. Here it is right here, 62. Nope, sorry. Here it is right here, 60. And right here is where we're going to embroider the outline stitch with one strand of black, and then all those dots are going, thank you, Finny, are going to get a red sequin with a red bead, and we'll be back when we have that done. Oops. There is the front of Santa's arm. So we have embroidered and sequined the front of his sleeve 60. Sequin and applique the front of the sleeve. Trim 61 to the front of the sleeve. So let's find that trim. It's going to be white. It is going to be white, and it's going to be number 61. Right here, right there on the front. Okay. Okay, I will cut this out, and I will put the white sequins right here. Then it will be attached, number 61, to right here on his sleeve. And you have to look really closely, but you can see a little jig right there. And that is going to line up with this little jig right here. Okay? So we'll get that cut, sequined, and attached, and we'll be back. Okay, let me catch you up as to where we are. We embroidered the front of the arm. This is 60, I believe 60 and 61. And then here is the cuff, which has been had sequins and then attached. Remember, we were being very careful to make sure that we had that little cutout lined up correctly. Then we did the same thing to the back. We stitched it, the applique stitch, and stuffed that. So his arm is finished. And now I'm working on the hand, which is going to be attached. I've done the dark peach, or just the peach, embroidery stitching there on the fingers. I've got it stitched up about a third of the way. I'm going to come up to here. We're going to stuff and then finish stitching and attach it right here, just like that. And then we will attach it to the stocking. All right, I finished the hand. I just made sure that I covered the hand. I wanted it oriented, of course, with the thumb up. I did access the picture, and I want to see the angle of the arm. We see that it needs to be placed over these lines, but you could do place it over the lines and do a very different angle. So based on this angle, I can see a little bit of the pocket coming out, so I think I'm going to go with this angle right there. If some of the pocket can be seen, I think that would be nice. So I kind of like that angle right there. So I'm going to pin it down, and then I'm just going to stitch kind of where the lines are. So just around the top, maybe quarter of his shoulder area, and I've got some red thread all ready to go here. So I'll start down here at about this area of the sequin right there, and go around here to just the bow, to where the bow, it meets where the bow is. And since this is an arm and he is going to have a plate of cookies and stuff on it, I am going to opt to go in and out, meaning that I'm going all the way through all the layers of stocking that it is being attached to. That is just because I want to be sure that this arm, although it may be able to be lifted, which I love, I don't want it to be able to be to come unattached. And so I'm going to hopefully make it more secure by going through those multiple layers right there. Right here I just have the single layer of the green stocking back. And that pretty much attaches it right there. Oops. You may have noticed I frequently work with very short threads. I am kind of stingy when it comes to thread, and I don't like to waste it, so I usually use it until it almost can't be used anymore. Sometimes I go too far and I really get a challenging piece to tie because I have worked it so short. But I will tell you, you probably have plenty of floss in your kit. You don't have to do this. It's honestly just kind of a habit. I didn't know that when I first started, obviously, if I would have enough, and so I was very cautious. And now I can see that that is really not necessary. So here he is. Oh, let's get that pin out of there. Here he is. He's got his arm attached. Let's come up a bit so you can see a little bit more. Here we go. And that's looking really great. All right, let's see what's next. All right, our next step is embroider, sequin, and applique the gingerbread. And he is number, let's see, number 67. So this guy right here. And this piece is actually going to go right up here next to the name. I don't know if you were with us when I decided on the name and the spacing, and you can see that I've centered it, not centered. And that's because this ginger man goes right here. So we need to cut out number 67. We are really winding down and wrapping this stocking up quickly. So we're going to cut him out, embroider, sequin, and applique the gingerbread to the front of the icing. To the front. Okay, the icing is, I guess, a white background. Okay, and the embroidery we're going to do here. Okay, it looks like it is this stitch, so it's going to be these 3 strands of white again and our outline stitch, and we've got sequins that have kind of a star in it, so those are white. So these dots are going to be his sequins. Oh, he gets green right here, these 2. His eyes are going to be a black French knot with 2 strands, and his mouth is this funny, okay, it's this stitch, which is going to be 3 strands of red outline stitch. So I'm going to cut him out and get all that done. This will be the white, the 3 strands of white outline here, here, and here. These will be white sequins. These will be green. This will be a 3 strands of red outline stitch, and his eyes will be a 2 strand of black. So I will be back when I've got that done and ready to show you. Okay, there's the little guy done with all of his details. Now we need to cut out the piece of white that goes around him. Okay, it's not there. So it must be one of my other pieces here. Because he has this great, there he is, right there. So we're going to cut this out and then stitch him down right on it, making sure that all the black lines are covered. And then we'll be back. I think we stitch a back on him here and stuff him a little and attach him to the top of the stocking, and that will be it for this video. So 2 more pieces and we'll be back. All right, here's this darling gingerbread man. He is all ready to get the back. He's going to get the back sewn on, and he's going to get stuffed lightly. And then he's going to be attached to that top left corner of the stocking. And that will be it for today's video. So I will come back after I have this piece number 69 cut out, and when I have him stuffed and attached to it. I do think that he is going to be one of these pieces that I'm going to put a thin layer of stuffing on the back and then lay it down and stitch it in, because there isn't an easy way to get stuffing into all of his little arms and legs and his head. So that's the plan. I will be back when I have it done to show you. All right, here we are. It says to attach this little guy right there, and it doesn't really say. Yeah, that looks about right. See, I've got some markings there. It looks to me like a head and an arm, but if I put his head and his arm down there, then I'm kind of covering up the J. So I think I'm gonna move him just slightly to the left and give him a tack down right there. I've got my, whoa, I just dropped my white needle on the floor. Thankfully it has some floss attached to it, so I can find it. That's good. Okay, so I'm just going to give him a couple of tacking stitches right around so that he doesn't look like he can fall off. Probably probably like at his edges, and then I'll probably tack the back along right there so that he can't kind of flop over. And that will be done for this video. We are so near the finish line. So I'm going to give him a tack right there. And I'm going to come down here and give him a tack, I think, on the end of his hand there, just to be sure that he doesn't look like he's flying up there or falling off or anything. And then down here between his hand and I don't know, I kind of like that. I think I'm going to leave that. Tack right there. And then I'm going to go to the back side here and just tack it here along the edge of the stocking so that and I may regret this because it may make it really difficult to get the back of the stocking on. We'll see. I may end up taking that out. I'll certainly let you know. But for right now, that's my decision, and it doesn't mean I won't regret it. That wouldn't be the first time. So there we go. Just get that stitch down there. And whoa. Let me let you see what it looks like at this point. All we're missing is his tray of cookies. And so let me come up a bit. You can see more of the whole thing here. Only if I straighten you out a bit. There we go. And there it is. It's got the gingerbread here at the top. We've got his arm. We've got all of his utensils there and ready to be used. He's got his sweet kitty cat, just like our sweet Finny. And he's got his dough ready to be rolled out. And now we just need, on probably the last video, the next video should be the last video, we will complete his tray and the cookies on his tray, and then we'll be ready to work on the back, putting the back on and attaching and lining the stocking. So looks like about 2 more videos and we will have this stocking totally complete. I hope you're enjoying this process and that you are making a beautiful stocking right along with us, and we hope that your day is blessed and that we see you back next time.